Foley was remembered by friends and family at a church service in his hometown of Rochester, New Hampshire over the weekend. And his family also shared a letter that he wrote describing what happened to him. He was held with 17 other hostages. He said they passed the time by discussing movies, sports, trivia, playing games made up from scraps that they found in their jail cell. Foley's parents say most of their son's letters were confiscated by his captors, but in June of last year, he asked an unidentified fellow hostage who was about to be freed to memorize and then share a message with his family. In the meantime, the hunt is on for his killer. So this is a suspect that British intelligence is considering in this death. He's a former hip-hop rapper from London who allegedly left to fight for ISIS in Syria sometime last year. So joining us now from our Beacon Hill studio, we bring in Anthony Amore, lecturer in Homeland Security at Fisher College. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you, Shabani.
You know, in this awful video of his execution, intelligence officials, they say that they could tell a lot about the killer from the height. They say they saw his eyes and then his voice as well, even targeting a British accent. How did those details lead them to this former rapper from London?
Well, this Abdel Bari, the former rapper, has lots of images and voice samples of himself on the internet already. And the intelligence officials, not just the United States, but amongst our allies, will help to look at this information and compare it to what they saw in the video with the journalist, Mr. Foley. There's a lot of voice recognition technology that allows intelligence experts to match what was in the video to the existing voice data from Abdel Bari.
So this is some pretty sophisticated voice and facial recognition programs that they're using. And I was reading as well that they're doing something. They're vein matching the hands. They're actually comparing one picture to another. How can we be sure we're going after the right guy, though? How sophisticated, how precise is that?
Well, you're referring to the vascular technology to look at the vein patterns, and that was used successfully in the past when Daniel Pearl was executed in the same manner as Mr. Foley. They saw the hands of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the 9/11 mastermind, and they were able to match the actual pattern of the veins in his hands to what they saw in the video. So this is very precise technology, and it only gets better every year. So we're fortunate to have it now.
And they can follow that trail essentially on social media. Bari, I guess, reportedly left London last year to travel to Syria. That's when authorities believe he joined up with ISIS forces there. But that would be further evidence of a pretty disturbing trend as to where they are getting the people who are fighting for them. Americans, now we have someone from London, all over the world joining this movement. What should we make of this?
That is a very disturbing trend. Now that you have Westerners, when you have Europeans, not just British, they estimate about 500 British citizens fighting with the Islamic State, citizens of France. These are people who can come to the United States without a visa, and that makes it very onerous for us here, because the Islamic State definitely wants to bring the fight to the continental United States.
And then they're communicating. They're not shy about having a presence online, about communicating via social media, even Skyping with family back home. British media was reporting that Bari, he was posting his raps online, and he even had a Twitter account where he was posing with a head, a decapitated head.
Yeah, an actual severed head. And we're seeing now that children of the Islamic State dressing as Abdel Bari with severed heads from dolls and such. I mean, it's a really disturbing trend. It's a difficult thing for us to grasp here in the United States. It's hard to come up with a pejorative low enough for these people. They're barely human. They're savages, and it's a really difficult fight to take to them.
Why would a terrorist group post things so publicly and allow themselves to be traceable? Is it worth the propaganda?
Yeah, well, it does help them bring in new members. I mean, the video images of 9/11 helped swell the ranks of al-Qaeda members rather than decrease them. And this sort of thing appeals to these nihilistic, depraved people who are willing to go fight for a twisted ideology, and seeing these type of images on social media appeals to them. You can only think of what sort of individual that appeals to, and then think about them being with like-minded individuals. It's a scary proposition.
And when you think about the message that they're sending out there, they're also sending out these clues, though. In your opinion, do you think that we will hone in on the right person and the right killer, and soon?
I do. I do believe they'll hone in on the right people. I think we'll hone in on the group itself. One thing they're not is very smart. They're savage and ferocious, but they're not brilliant people. And all kinds of clues will be gathered, and the best minds, not just in U.S. intelligence, but British intelligence, Israelis will help, and that'll allow us to send in this task force black that's going to go after these groups, this group.
Right, and dismantle and try to establish some sort of justice after the fact. Anthony Morey, thank you so much.
Thank you.